So there was a big debate in the community, would we get a combat drop or an ocean update? And the answer is both. Hello, I'm AbjectToyCat, and Minecraft Live just happened, and honestly, it was a short show that could have been even shorter, but they also just revealed the Mounts of Mayhem drop, a brand new update that contains a lot of new features, and today I'm going to be summing up the show and breaking down every one of these 16 new features and my thoughts on how they'll change Minecraft, because there is a lot to go around. But let's get started like the show did with Jeb.
Every year, the Minecraft community grows bigger than it's ever been before. To all newcomers, welcome to the world of Minecraft.
This was a nice welcome, and it's an important moment of Minecraft Live, but what's confusing is the very first thing they chose to show off was what to do in Minecraft when you're lost, and I swear to God I'm not kidding when I say that after 3 minutes of just saying, oh, isn't Minecraft confusing, they finish with this note.
But if you don't know where to begin, or you get stuck, there are plenty of tutorials out there, made by the community, for the community.
Minecraft is hard, but if you ever get lost, you could just Google it. I'm sure someone can help you. But I thought that was a really funny start that then went into something more sincere because they had Agnes come on to say this.
We want to bring smiles, and the game drops gives us a chance to do so more often and in a sustainable way.
She goes on to clarify that 2 game drops have come out so far this year, the Spring to Life drop and Chase the Skies, and then says that 2 more will be coming out, confirming that the Copper Age is releasing, but also the Winter drop will be coming out this year, which is a great piece of news. But what's interesting is then we just get what is called a sneak peek of the Copper Age trailer, followed by a full showcase of all of the features. Now, I'm going to be honest, if you follow this channel, you probably know what all of them are, but just in case you don't, the shelf! And the copper golem, and wow, are there other copper blocks too? Super cool. Did you know there's also copper armor and copper chests? And yeah, this is a brand new drop that's coming out on Tuesday. We don't have a trailer yet, that is something they said they'll be revealing later, but they did speak about how they designed the audio for it. But again, at this point, I think most people were pretty familiar with this drop, and that's why they were more excited for the big reveal that came afterwards, because when they were talking about the copper drop and how it's the first time they've added a runner-up mob, technically true because it was a runner-up biome vote that had the frog come, they mentioned that the copper golem was probably
the new cutest mob in the game with the copper golem.
Oh, you're very wrong. What are you talking about? The cutest? The golem? Are you forgetting the happy ghast?
Oh yeah, I am forgetting the happy cast. That is a cute one.
Okay, if Minecraft Live is meant to promote 2 game drops, the one about to come out and the one coming out after, why would they go back in time to promote the one that came out 3 months ago? Things are a little bit confusing, but there is a whole Happy Gas song, which is nice, but just kind of adds to the feeling that they're a little bit confused about what Minecraft Live should be, because they then follow up with a few YouTubers and what they do, including everyone's favorite internet grandmother, who apparently makes Minecraft streams super wholesome, and then finally they come back into a Dragon Ball Z promotion. But after that,
now it's time to reveal a brand new, unseen game drop that we are planning to release later this year. I've already hinted that the new drop includes a mob. And to find it, we must leave the surface and sink into the depths of the ocean.
So here we are in the oceans for the previously unannounced Mounts of Mayhem drop. This is going to be the meat and potatoes of the video, going into each of the 16 features which were just revealed for the very first time, and the first of these came up in a mysterious way because they said that we would be able to find a brand new mob at the depths of the ocean, and it is of course the Nautilus. The Nautilus is not a hostile mob, but instead this is a new mob that spawns in the ocean biomes, and drowns are attracted to them. This is very interesting, but they can be tamed if you use a pufferfish, whether it's in a bucket of water or not, and if you tame them, they'll be able to be saddled and then ridden underwater. This is our first ever underwater riding mount, but it's even better than that because when riding the Nautilus, you'll actually get a brand new effect.
While you are riding the Nautilus, you get the super cool effect, the Breath of the Nautilus effect.
Which means that you can be on the Nautilus without having to get oxygen because it pauses the oxygen bar.
This is massive. This means you'll be able to ride this underwater mount and you'll be able to go for ocean ruins or shipwrecks or even the ocean monument without ever having to worry about breathing. Now, technically you can do this with a water breathing potion, and technically you can do this with a conduit or for less time with a turtle shell, but this is by far the best way because it also gives you a great way to get around while you are underwater. This is absolutely massive and it is a really cool feature by itself, But it gets even better because they confirmed that while you're riding it, you can also dash, which will push you forwards, a very fun feature by itself, but you can also go to the surface, which means you don't even need to worry about that Breath of the Nautilus. It will do this fun little jump out of the water and then go back in. This is very fun. They haven't confirmed if it will drop Nautilus shells when killed, but it is a very fun feature by itself, and it gets even better because you can take 2 of them, if you happen to find them, and you can breed them together using pufferfish to get the second feature, a baby Nautilus. And I know, is that a separate feature or a whole part of it? Minecraft themselves believe it is a separate feature, and so it's very important to know about, just like how it's important to know that if you want to protect your Nautilus because he's going to be your big mount that's going to take you into ocean monuments and beyond, you might want to use some Nautilus shells to craft Nautilus armor. Nautilus armor comes in, we believe, 5 separate variants: leather, copper, gold, iron, and diamond, and if it's anything like the regular horse armor, these 5 features effectively function as 1 or 2, where you're going to want to have the very best and the rest are just kind of there. Especially if it uses Nautilus shells, you're not going to be wasting, you might as well use the Nautilus shells on diamond or iron. We're going to have to wait and see what they do to make Nautilus armor unique, but right now it seems like it's going to be horses but underwater, which is very cool, don't get me wrong, but what makes it even cooler is what was announced after these 5. But honestly, before we can talk about the aggressive part of this update, we need to talk about the thing that will be aggressive towards you, because how is it that a rideable mount even exists in any scary way? Well, the answer is Nautiluses are mostly friendly, but there is a separate variant called
Zombie Nautilus?
The Zombie Nautilus is green compared to the regular one, which is like normally a bit more orange, more golden.
The Zombie Nautilus spawns with a drowned on top of it, so it's quite scary.
This is an absolutely ludicrous combo to throw into the oceans, and it represents our 8th feature, because guess what? Now the oceans are about to be a lot more dangerous. Drowns with tridents are such a menace, and the only thing holding them back right now is the fact that they go quite slowly, but a zombie Nautilus is going to represent a serious threat to you, because if you get murdered if you're caught by one of these anywhere, it's going to chase you, and if you don't have your own Nautilus, you're going to die, because as it turns out, the zombie Nautilus can charge you just like before, and I guess the only thing we can say is good is that it is a trident holding drowned and not a spear holding one, because yes, those leaks were in fact accurate. It does seem as though a spear is coming to Minecraft. What is a spear? Well, it's crafted like this: 2 sticks going diagonally and then a single ingot. As you can see, this makes it the cheapest weapon, and also they've confirmed it will be available in every single tier. And so we go from feature 9 to feature 10 to features 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 as well, because yes, there are going to be 7 separate spears, and they aren't just, you know, like slightly better versions of each other, like how the sword works, but they actually all do work very slightly differently. But to explain, let's talk about the attacks you can do with a spear.
It has 2 modes of attacking.
One of them is a jab, and the other is a charge. The charge attack is something that does damage based on how fast you're going, so the faster you go, the more damage you deal with it.
This sounds incredibly interesting, but I have to take a second here and say, Mojang, did you just show off how cool the spear would be by using a biome that you just removed from the Bedrock version of the game? I think that's exactly what happened here. Have you seen an iceberg biome recently? If you haven't, it's really sad, don't look. But just a funny example of Mojang showing off a feature that they've since removed after recording Minecraft Live. But yeah, what's really interesting about this is the spear is going to be a highly technical weapon, it sounds like, because even the jab attack looks like it's going to have a hit delay, presumably even on Bedrock, because they're using this environment visuals, but then there is going to be a much more complicated attack because the spear is there to be used as this super, kind of like speed-based weapon, but the spear isn't going to just be out and ready to use. You have to lower it, and then you're going to need to attack while it's lowered. If you don't attack while it is, it's going to start shaking, and then eventually raise up. And what's even more interesting is the fact that their argument is that this should change based on the tier, so it's not just that there are 7 variants, which are all the same, with +1 damage, but actually, the more damaging tier you get, with the very top case being Diamond and Netherite, then the less time they're going to have, and the quicker they're going to turn back up. So, for what I believe is the first time in Minecraft combat history, we have a situation where you might actually want a worse tool. Sure, the Netherite spear is going to be the most damaging version, but if you have a wooden version, and you're going so fast that you know you're going to kill anyway, then maybe it makes sense to have the extra downtime, and so people might be using stone or iron or wooden spears spears, even if you have access to diamond, and I think that's really, really cool personally. But yeah, I think the number of PvP opportunities that come from this are going to be crazy. I think the PvE opportunities are going to be really fun, and I also think that it's cool that they're inventing a new weapon that you can just use really lazily if you want to, but also that has this like easy to learn, hard to master aspect to it. I think that's fun. I don't think most people are going to use it if the mace is anything to go by, but I also think if I can have a little bit of hopium while we're showing off the spears anyway, it looks as though there is this really enforced on you cooldown that happens kind of like how ender pearls do. You can see it on this shot of the happy ghast in the rain, and what's interesting is if they are going to have a cooldown, that is clearly the start of combat parity that is going to represent a proper combat update for Bedrock, in my opinion. Obviously, they could... we've seen how long they can take to do combat update stuff, but it looks like they're getting pretty serious with it by having a drop that is themed around oceans and combat, and so is this the first step in that broader combat update? I hope so, but Mojang didn't say anything deeper about it. They just said, oh, look how cool it is. And then they finally said that the 16th feature is going to be one that ties into the spear because...
You're not the only ones who get this new weapon.
That's right. The zombie horse is a brand new mob that will spawn with a zombie holding a spear in his hand. This will represent the first time that you can find a zombie horse in survival, and I cannot say how hyped I am for this enough. This is crazy to finally see it. I've been talking for years about how much I would love for Mojang to add the zombie horse to survival. This and the illusion, I would say, are like the two big asks. They're already programmed, they're already in the game, they just need an opportunity, and it looks like Mojang have found it, because now there is a new hostile mob that will spawn. It's a zombie with a spear and a zombie horse that he's going to use to charge at you. This could represent a very serious source of new damage, and ultimately, as a total, this represents a drop with a lot of ways to kill you. We've got zombie nautiluses, we've got the drowns that will ride on them and throw super painful projectiles at you, and then we've got a zombie which will spear you to death. This might be the most hostile drop we've had in forever, because unlike all of the other hostile drops where it's challenges, you know, like the Warden and the Creaking are both mobs you can choose to fight by going there, but the zombie Nautilus and the zombie horse are just always going to spawn in their respective biomes, and so I think that this represents one of the most interesting changes to Minecraft as a whole, and indeed, maybe the start of a greater PvE balance. So just before we go into my full deep thoughts on what this changes for the game, I do want to quickly clarify, this wasn't the end of the show. They did say there would be a post-show, and it was cool to see how Copper would improve Mog Swamp's super flat world. It was also really cool to see some more spear gameplay. They did some jousting, but they also did some PvE with Agnes, Jeb, and Tubbo all facing up against a bunch of mobs. It's really, really cool to see how the spear works in reality, but that is what this has ultimately become. And so, what do we think so far of the show? I mean, I've seen the comment a lot that this show could have been an email, and that is technically true for any Minecraft Live or any Minecraft announcement, but I do think that the ocean drop announcement was crazy cool. It was tight, it was so much detail, so many features announced, and so much hype built for the winter drop. I love the fact that they revealed that the winter drop is coming this year. That was one of our fears about having the copper drop come out so late, and they revealed that it will be having its development version start soon, which is great. But ultimately, yeah, the only thing that I found good in the entire show was a little bit of a head bob to the Ghast song that felt very out of place. A bit of enjoyment that Minecraft is saying you should watch tutorials, because if you start searching tutorials, you might find videos like the one on this channel. But more seriously, as a Minecraft fan, all I really enjoyed was the winter drop, the Mounts of Mayhem. I was expecting to see at least a copper drop trailer, but all we got was, yeah, there will be a trailer later. Hope you're looking forward to that. And so I am looking forward to the copper drop coming out September 30th, exactly when we predicted here on this channel, by the way. I mean, after they delayed it. But yeah, Copper Drop is in fact coming out on September 30th, and that's great. But mostly, the star of the show was the Mounts of Mayhem, and so now I think it's time for us to one more time sum up. There are 16 features. Here they all are again. It is coming in winter of this year. They confirmed it will be in 2025, which is nice, which means they have now just under 2 months to develop every single feature in this drop, have it fully functional and bug fixed to release for us, which therefore kind of takes me into my overall opinions, which is that usually Minecraft Live is a great way for us to see a bunch of cool stuff that we know will be added to later. I suspect that this will be a drop that comes out basically exactly as it was in Minecraft Live. Everything we've seen looks very, very cool, and I am loving the variety of what's happening in this drop. I'm loving that they're willing to actually take some experiments and some risks and play around with the Minecraft formula, and I love that this is going to open up the oceans in a deeper, better way. But I can't help but think that if they don't add any actual new content to the oceans, in terms of like a new structure or a new biome, then all of this won't actually make that much sense. I can't help but be left with the opinion that this is an incredible set of features, but a set of features that will make a fun drop and not necessarily as impactful of a drop as they are hoping. My one prayer is that these are all fully featured and all ready to go into the very first snapshot and preview of the year, and they spend the next 3 or 4 weeks building some extra meaning into the ocean. But for now, what I can say about the drop so far is that it's looking pretty cool. I'm very excited for it, and all of these features look great, but these might represent the 99% off the Minecraft drop. Anyway, with that said, I want to hear what you think about this. Obviously, today is Saturday, so no Q&A Saturday, but I want to go through your comments, and if any of them are fun, I'll share them in tomorrow's video, because I am absolutely obsessed with the Mounts of Mayhem. I am very, very excited for it, and I think that this really reinforces that problem of like, now I'm really excited for the Mounts of Mayhem drop 2 days before the Copperage is coming out. There's a bit of a problem with the release schedule of how they do these things, but yeah, there is one other last thing I want to reveal. It's something fun that you might not have realized, which is that yesterday's video actually had the Nautilus fully featured inside of it. We just had a question mark on it, but here's what it really looked like. Isn't that fun? Anyway, speaking of things that are fun, I hope you all enjoyed this one. It was a slightly longer video than normal it looks like, but there's so much to say, and there's so much more I want to go into of how they're doing Minecraft Live and the Nautilus and all of that stuff, but hopefully you enjoyed this video being as brief as I could humanly get it down to. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy these videos and the deep analysis we do here. Make sure to subscribe if so, because I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.